Appreciate it. Our main goal with this is just to introduce you to all the things that you might see either coming home, and get you prepared for what that will look like. And then also, what are we using to learn? What are your students looking at every day and that kind of thing. So, welcome. Again, all of us, if you don't know everybody, I'm Miss Jolly. We have Mr. O, Miss Vet, Miss McCain in the back, and Miss White. So this is our team. Again, we wanted to show you the curriculum being taught within the classroom and how the goals will be assessed throughout the year. Each one of you got a bag when you came in, and in your bag, you're gonna see some letter and number flashcards. You're gonna see sight words that we will cover for the entire year. So those can be practiced at home, and that will be very beneficial for them. There's some practice games in there, as well as this ABC arc that you got. They can match their letters, they can practice sounds, they can practice writing them. It's useful for so many things. They can go on like little letter scavenger hunts. It's really good, so we love those. There is an example report card in your bag that we'll go over, so as you get these report cards for kindergarten, you'll know what they look like and what they mean. And then there's also an in-class report for your child in there. Also, we'll go over what that is for. And then there is a Literacy Act flyer that is all about the Literacy Act that they'll have to work toward by 3rd grade. And Miss Word's gonna help fill you in on that in just a little bit, okay? All right, so next I'm going to introduce Miss Bent.
All right, so with some of the things you can see in some home, we do CQLA as our reading curriculum, and we use, there's 2 different components, skills, and the other one is knowledge. And so for skills, for knowledge so far, we have covered fairy tales and fables. We've covered stories. We've covered the 5 senses. So you've probably seen some of those things come home. We wrapped up the story unit today, and Ms. Robinson came in and read. And so if your kids tell you about the owl, the wolf, that is why she came in and read a different version of spin-off of the 3 Little Pigs. And so that is what we do with knowledge. It does encompass our social studies skills and our science skills. So we are starting plants now, so that ties in with the science. And that is the way they get that as well. Phonics are the skills that we're talking about, the sounds of the letters, the names of the letters that will come. You've seen some of the things we've talked about in the first 2 units that we did, just the strokes and how to form the letters. And you've seen those pages that have come home. More than likely, there's usually a page for you guys, page for them. So some of the practice we've been doing, and so we're working on lowercase letters right now, but more importantly, the sounds is what we're teaching. So those are what we do for what we call ELA, or English Language Arts, is Amplify. And then for our math, we use Eureka Math, and I know my friends, they may have already sent it home. There is a different book that is in your packet that I'm just now sending home. I didn't want to just send it in explanation, but there's also a practice one you got probably at the beginning of the year, might even been at open house. So just some extra stuff for you to work on at home. If you see, there's something we just finished up, module 1. And working with numbers, and so now we have begun module 2, which is more in depth on the shapes. So we've done shape a week, or they've seen some of them, but it's more in depth. So we started that today, and so you can work on that at home. You see the different things, but we use that as a guide for our math curriculum. Now, saying that, all to say, by the end of kindergarten, we have some things that we look at to see if they are ready to go in the 1st grade, and we hope that that is the case for everybody. There are standards, there are what we're supposed to be, met, we're supposed to be mastered, and there is a huge list, and I started writing every one of them down to just present, and I'll be honest, I'm a parent, I would have been overwhelmed. I was like, Mr. O and I had this conversation, it's like, no, we're not gonna do that. So We did the broader spectrum of the things that they need to be able to do by the end of kindergarten. So obviously write their first and last name, know their colors, know all my letter names, the uppercase and lowercase, know all the letter sounds, know their vowels and their sounds, long vowels and short vowels. Read CVC words. CVC is consonant, vowel, consonant. We are practicing reading those now, so they are seeing and they can read the three-letter words. I can read all my sight words. We also call them tricky words. So if you see that come home, that is the same thing as a sight word we talk about, but it doesn't follow the rules. So it plays tricks on us, and we have to know it by sight. Writing sight words, rhyming. We talk about that, segmenting or breaking apart words, identifying the shapes, 2D, 3D shapes, identifying numbers 1 through 20, writing numbers 1 through 20, counting to 100 by ones, counting to 100 by tens, and then adding and subtracting. And like I said, these are broken down even further into the categories. These are the big ones that, and if you have a question about that, exactly what it is by the end of the 45 weeks, the end of the year, we will be more than happy to clear that up. Just talk to your email, send a text, through your mind, or Rondo, your child's teacher. We'll be more than happy to show you what it is they're doing, what the focus is that's really there. So just kind of want to give you an overview of that. That's you.
So I'm going to talk about assessments. We do several assessments that we do weekly. Those are going to be, normally those are ELA assessments. That's on a program we call M-Class. And what that is almost all reading. You're sounding out words, getting letters and sounds matched together. And those are done weekly. In M-Class, you'll get, like Shelby said, you're going to get an M-Class report in your bag about your kid. And again, what I want you to take into account, especially this first 9 weeks, first half of the year, you just saw this list of things that we expect these kids to know. And they're 5, so they know some of it. And some of them, they're going to get their first report card, and you're going to be like, they know this, why are they missing this? They know this. Don't panic, it'll be fine. Some kids, like I said, this is the first time they've been in school. So they're sitting up and trying to take a test, and they're like, whoa, taking a test, never done this before. So everything is coming at them 100 miles an hour, just like it's kind of coming at you tonight, 100 miles an hour. So when you get your report card and you get your M-Class reports, take it with a grain of salt. If there's something that the teacher really thinks is going to be a problem, they will let you know. You will not be surprised by a report card, I promise you, from this group of teachers. If there's something going on, or we think that somebody needs a little extra help here or there, you're going to hear about it before you see a grade card. So that being said, this little piece of paper, it looks like this, it's in your bag. This is just an example of what one of our reports looks like. It's called an ESGI report. And what ESGI is just a program that we will do this at the end of every 9 weeks. And what it is the kids will come and sit with the teacher, it's usually one-on-one, and you're asking them all these things. Like, for example, there's a reading side and a math side. You just look at the reading side, like, and here's the thing also about ESGI. They've got to be able to identify all the letters. And so I'm going to show them a picture of an M, and I would say, what sound does this make? And they would say, And then I would show that same picture and say, okay, well, what's the name of this letter? And they would say M. So one thing to keep in mind about these reports, if they miss one letter, they get a strike on that little thing, and so it's marked as a 0. And that's if they get 9 out of 10, that's great. But if they miss that one, it's going to mark it as a 0. So that's another reason to really look at these reports and say, oh, well, they got this incorrect, but they got 7 out of 8 letters, or they got 12 out of 19 letters. It's, and it'll tell you exactly the ones they missed. So if you say, oh, well, those are things you can work on at home, or those, the stuff we're giving you in these bags, things you can work on. And like I said, when you get these reports, there is a lot on them, but don't let it overwhelm you. If there's really something that's bothering you, it's probably bothering the teacher too, and you guys can talk about it and get together and figure out what you need to do next. But this is all new for these guys, so assessments are new, All the way we're doing these things are new, and we have really high expectations for these kids. And so we want them to succeed just as much as y'all do. So if you have questions about these reports or anything looks weird or odd to you, shoot any one of us an email and we will be glad to help answer, figure out what to do next. If you see an area that you're like, whoa, that's something we do at home and they're still not getting in, we need to do something different, those are things that we can do together. So you're gonna get lots of data on your kids. Look at it, and some of the things you can chalk up to test anxiety, you can chalk up to other things, but if there are things that you see that are really a problem for you, just let us know, and we'll answer questions and we'll get everybody on the right path where they need to be.
Any questions about ESGI or M-Class real quick? I know that was a lot to kind of throw at you.
This is their actual.
No, this is an example.
Oh, okay.
So you'll get your child on report card now. We just wanted you to be familiar with what it would look like and an example.
And we'll send there'll be a Pell City report card attached to the ESGI report too, to kind of explain things a little bit more. So you'll get both things. I don't think, is that Thursday? Thursday.
All right, so I want to introduce myself. My name is Carrie Word. I am the title interventionist here at Iowa. And what that means is that our school, based on our free and reduced lunch, receive a certain amount of money from the federal government. And it's our job to take that money and get your opinions and things like that that we need for our kids and figure out how we're going to spend it. So the bags that you have tonight are one of the ways we chose to spend it for you guys to take home some resources specifically for your grade level. So if you have another kid in another grade level, they're going to get a different bag with stuff for them in it. We identify students who are having difficulties in their academics. We have a PST meeting every month. We talk about your students and if they're growing or not. And then I have a team that will pull the groups of students and we work on reading, we work on math, all the different things. We also conduct these parent engagement meetings, and it's also our job to make sure that you're involved in your child's education. And that's it. All right, so you guys don't do AR, right? All right, so when your child gets in first, second, third grade, we do AR, and these are some of the incentives that our librarian does for those friends who make their goals. So the biggest thing that we wanted to do for you guys is to give you the alphabet letters. When we were growing up, everybody had the alphabet on their refrigerator, right? Well, that's not the case anymore. So we wanted to give you these letters, have them in their hands, and one of the things that we have the students do is we have them make an alphabet rainbow. Now you have the little cheat sheet that they can use to match the letters, but as they get better at it, we want them to be able to do it on their own without a template. Okay, so these are some friends that come to me and they're gonna show you what they do with their alphabet rainbow. So after they start with their A, put the M again at the top and the Z, we go back through and we say the letters. We don't sing the alphabet because, once you get to L, M, N, O, P, it kind of all gets screwed together. So listen to them do their alphabet.
A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, Z.
All right, so the only thing that stays the same about the letters is their shape. That's another reason we wanted to give you these. So the more they pick it up, hold it, manipulate it, the better they'll be at recognizing those letters and those sounds.
A,
All right, so you have the alphabet flashcards. You can cut those up again. You can flash those for letter names and letter sounds. They have the little picture on there. Lots of students use those to help remember the sound. You have the number cards that they can use to trace. You should have a marker in there that they can use. to write on there. You have 10 counting bears and a tens frame where they can match the numbers as they count them. And then you have a game called Racing Bears where they can roll the dice and then they make that many bears and they try to make race to 10, right? All right. Do you guys have those poppets at home? Like everybody has 100 poppets? So one of the things we do with poppets is we count as we pop the squares. And that's just to get them counting as much as possible. But another thing you can do with them is give them a word like fish and have them pop the sounds in the word. If they can pop the sounds, then they're more likely to be able to look at the letters and blend them as they get into that stage. All right, I think that's all of our kindergarten stuff. Y'all have any questions about anything in the bag? Okay. Christy's gonna talk a little bit about the Literacy Act and how that's gonna affect your students.
Okay, so my name is Christy Robinson, and I am the local reading coach here at Iowa Roberts. And I work mostly with the teachers, although I am in the classroom doing some coaching with them, and we just work on improving instruction based on the data from the report cards, from M-Class, and from other assessments that teachers get. In Alabama, we have the Alabama Literacy Act, the ALA, which we will be enforcing for the first time this year. And you may think, how does this affect me? I don't have a second or third grader. But it's never too early to go ahead and think about this, because it's not gonna go away. Your child will be required to be reading on grade level by the time they enter third grade, or there's a possibility they will be retained. So this is a really good, valuable piece of information, can answer a lot of questions for you. It's gonna start with their ACAP, which is our state-wide assessment that we give in second, third, and fourth grade. If their reading composite score in that doesn't make the cut, then we are definitely watching them. We are going to make sure they are receiving some sort of intervention. They'll be offered tutoring after school. We also have a summer reading program. They'll receive something called an SRIP, which will be a reading improvement plan. So we have all these things in place to make sure that we're doing everything we can for our students here at Iowa Roberts to succeed and meet that goal of reading on grade level by third grade. So read over this, just be familiar with it so that it's in the back of your mind as they go through it. You'll hear more and more about it as you get closer to second grade. Okay. Anybody have any questions about that?
All right, so that's really all that we have for you guys. There's some books, if you know that your children like a specific book, and also the book fair is open tonight.